This technical series is presented by Iggy Brigado, Senior Sales Engineer for JPS Interoperability Solutions.
I wanted to really talk about some of the basics of radio coverage, and this is a perfect primer to discuss how we use repeaters and how we use analog modem to select these repeater sites, particularly when I have multiple repeaters. So I'm going to start very basic, and I'm going to talk about Simplex Communications, and I think the Latin term for plex is a weave or a path, and in Simplex Communications, we use a single path to support the receive and transmit component of our communication. So in terms of simplex communications, the receive and transmit audio are the same frequencies. This type of communications is still widely used today, car to car, man to man, simplex communications. But the problem with simplex communications, however, is some of the physical constraints of the radio systems, and that can also include transmit power, sensitivity of the receiver, antenna, physical obstacles such as building or terrain. But to alleviate this coverage issue with regards to these two different radios working in this simplex environment, we can often include a relay site or a repeater site. And this repeater site now becomes what we call a duplex system. If we look at the Latin term for plex, meaning path, and duo, we now have two paths, separate paths for the receive communications and a separate path to transmit. So in this type of architecture, I can transmit at one frequency and my repeater or my relay site can receive at that frequency and then rebroadcast at a completely different transmit frequency where my subscriber units can receive at that very same transmit frequency for my relay site. So this helps alleviate coverage issues, and it's a great way of expanding my coverage region. So handheld radios also can benefit from these repeater sites, but the handheld radios also have a different type of constraint. It's very similar to the mobile radios, and this could be defined as really the sensitivity of the receivers in my handheld radios and the fact that I have a unity gain antenna. So even if I have a relay site or a repeater site, constraints of that handheld radio suffer. Again, to alleviate this, we can also add satellite receiver sites or distributed receiver sites to increase the coverage area. And then we can backhaul that audio through various transport methods, which we'll talk about shortly. So if I design my radio system properly, I create coverage with my satellite receiver sites. I can roam throughout my area of operation, and hopefully I can hit one of my receiver sites and backhaul my audio to either a dispatch center, call center, or to a system-wide transmitter and rebroadcast my communications out to the field.